can be different according to the company. For some companies, 10 seconds is a downtime, and for the others, I would say less than 1 second can be considered a downtime, depending on the throughput you have. So about me, everyone knows here, know me, so I'm going to skip this part. I'm based in Brazil. I work at Percona as a senior technical engineer, and I see and I help as much as I can and upgrade processes. We're going to talk about the agenda, about the versioning, the upgrades. There's some operations that always will require downtime. A couple of those. We're going to upgrade a replica set, how to upgrade a replica set without taking out the application. And we're going to discuss how to upgrade a sharded cluster. We are not going to demonstrate because it's going to take a while. And then I'll do a live demo, changing versions from 3.4 to 3.6. But we can do also changing storage engine at the same time. It's up to you guys if you want. I can change that. And the end, I'll review. So about versioning, I think everyone knows like MongoDB use event versions for production ready. So please always use event versions for production environment. Version 2.3 and 3.3 are testing environment, and they will have more bugs than the production ready version. How we are going to read versions here. 3.2 is the release series, and 15 is the revision. Usually we are like, we have a 15, 17, 21 revision, depending on the version. Currently, MongoDB is trying to keep below 20, and then they release a different release series. So upgrading. So we have two kinds of upgrade, minor and major upgrades. Minor is just replacing the version. So it's very straightforward, like you just replace the binary for the new version. First you need to stop the binary and then replace for the new version. And the minor versions usually have small fixes. It doesn't add more features. It's going to be fixes to the major version. For example, we have a 3.2.14. They fixed a problem with the wire tiger, for example, with the cache in wire tiger. Sorry, this is my mistake. This is major upgrades here. So they add more features and they put more enhancements in the database. So for who start working with MongoDB 2.2, for example, we can see like a very, the database was growing so fast, and they have like a few releases adding more functionalities in the version 2.4 and 2.6 and 3.0. You see like they have like a very short time to do that. And every time they have new features, like significant new features, they'll have a new release. So the most common, the major upgrades that we had are those, like from 2.4 to 2.6, they changed the authentication algorithm. 3.0 to 3.2, they start with pluggable storage engine. And before that, for whom worked with TokuMX tried to do that in version 2.6. From 3.2 to 3.4, there are huge enhancements in replica set. So the config servers become a replica set. It's not more like a mirrored instance. They add new data types. Some improvements in the initial sync, because the previous initial sync algorithm was a little bit dummy. So now they can copy the data and create the index at the same time. So it was very common to have problem in initial syncs. 3.4 to 3.6, they had pre-transactions. They start having the sessions concepts. And now 3.6 to 4.0, they will start having real transactions, but only in replica sets. 4.2, we'll have transactions in the sharded cluster. So one problem is like not every time we have upgrade, it works the way we want to work. There's a very common problem in the version 3.2 where the config servers, the MongoOS are not performing very well. So sometimes it's necessary to roll back versions. I saw this happening more than once, and we need to be aware of the process to roll back the instance. Usually, what I suggest is run some tests before upgrading the production environment. So every time that you upgrade a major version, you need also to change your driver because new functionalities were being added, and maybe the old driver is not capable to use those new functionalities. And since version 3.4, it's possible to turn off new features, those features, to keep compatibility with previous versions. So you can move to 3.4 binary without using the 3.4 features at the end. Like, for example, 3.4 add the numeric data type. So if you don't want to use this, and if you think you are going to roll back, you can keep the version 3.2 as a feature compatibility. And it's working with 3.4, the same for 3.6, so you can disable sessions, you can disable most of the new features in the version 3.6, making this version works as a 3.4 instance. Some operation that always requires downtime. So let's suppose you have started a cluster without security. So there's no way to have half of the security enabled and half of the security disabled. And to enable security in a sharded cluster, to start using certificates, for example, it's going to always need to take some downtime. To change the cluster shard key, there's some thing that you can do, like have a parallel shard or build your own tool to do that. But usually, it requires some downtime. And if you are adding another, like another IP, if you have more network cards and you need to change the listen IP, you need to restart the server as well. So those are the operations that will always require some downtime. You can make this downtime smaller using some kind of like chef automating tool, but it always requires some restarting the process. Oh, for enable security, you need to turn off your machines and then bring all in with the security enable, because there's no way to have half of the security enable. So you need to turn off the machine, the process, add the authentication, the key file, or whatever you're going to use, and then bring the entire shard up. So there's no way to add security to a shard without taking down some. You can take down some, like one shard and the other shard, but at the end, your MongoOS will not be able to talk to them.
So I'm sorry, you finished.
Yeah.
Unless, I mean, you're talking about like SSL and stuff, right?
Yes.
But if you bring it up with allow SSL, your replica shard.
Yes, but if you don't have user, you need to create the user. So you need to enable the auth to have the user. So if you prepare the environment at the first, that's okay. But if you don't have any security, you are going to enable for the first time, it's going to need some downtime.
So you said sure, but if you're talking about like a 3-node replica set, couldn't you just approach it from the actual secondary to work your way to the primary following the development?
Yes, there's some way to do that, but we need to have the users created at the first. Like if you don't have the users created, you need to take some downtime. Like otherwise, we're going to have the application connected just to one instance, and you need to add security to your application. So you need to restart your application as well, because the application is not prepared to talk with a secure MongoDB, for example. So it's not only MongoDB, you need to change the application layer as well. So you need to break the connections at least for a few seconds.
But what if you don't approach the client side of the security equation and only do it in
let me confirm if I got it correctly. So you're saying like if you have 3 instances, and then you are gonna like start out having, for example, security. So
So it's got an existing environment, right?
yes,
Nobody uses security, right?
yes,
So you're going to do it in phases. So you're going to say, hey, this week I'm going to enable security across my replica set.
right.
You're going to do it in a rolling fashion, starting with the actual secondary.
Yeah, but once you enable security at the first one, the other ones are not going to be able to talk to them. So you need to add the flag. I'm going to show the flag here to the key file because they will be able to talk to each other. So it's going to require some downtime. You can make it like take just a few. Yeah. So sorry. Sorry, I don't get.
Transition to off.
Yes, we can do that for the next. I'm not going to cover exactly this one, but I have this. Yeah, we have this. Like we can have a like part of the shard with transition, but if you have nothing at the beginning, you need to restart with this flag at least once. So, but it depends on the driver as well. So I'm going to show the driver here. So this is like exactly what I think what you ask. So you can have a replica set here. This is how to upgrade a replica set. It's the same for enable any parameter and other stuff. What we used to do is add a new instance there. I don't know, maybe you are changing version or changing the storage engine. This database is going to sync from the new primary, and then we are going to replace one secondary. This is what we do to avoid downtime, right? So this is going to work for most of the case. So with that, we can like make the downtime as smaller as possible. So you can have a transaction period here. And here is what drivers are saying. So let's suppose we remove this. We are trusting the driver are just saying 3 machines. And it's going to repeat for all the instances. And we can have like 100% uptime on this machine. But the driver must be able to talk to this machine and to handle those errors. Most of the drivers are smart, but sometimes we need to tweak something, the code, to make this work correctly. And I'm going to show this with details how the driver is going to handle this. This is just, if I use hidden true, the driver is not going to see for most of the case. But it's not really important right now. So I'm going to start the live demo to save some time. I think this is too small, right? Is it okay? Okay. I'm starting a testing here. It's a sharding. I've started, a replica set. I have my replica set working here. No delay. It's a simple replica set, right? I wrote a very simple program in Python. If there's any Python programmer here, sorry about my code. It's very simple, but it's doing what I want it to do. So I'm connecting to my machine. So I'm passing the connection string here. I'm saying, hey, this is a replica set. Is it too small? Okay. And I'm saying, hey, read preferences, secondary preferred. And I have a loop here running for 1,000 inserts. I'm going to stick with 1,000 inserts. I'm going to run this. This is connected to my replica set that I've just created. So I'm inserting document. I'm pretending that I'm a client writing here. So show these, use this, show collections, beta, full, fine. So you see that I'm writing here. And then I'm going to start the upgrade process. You see, even though my driver is supposed to be smart enough, I'm trying on some exceptions here. So if my find fails, I'm going to rerun the find. I'm going to wait for 5 seconds because I know my election is not going to take more 5 seconds because this is a local network. And I'm going to try again. So it's not only the database that needs to be high availability, have high availability, but the client must be able to handle errors. So I'm reading from secondaries. I'm gonna kill one secondary. Yes, write concern right now is 1 here. So I'm writing just to 1 because I just have 3 machines and I don't want to have more than that. So it's confirming write in 1. So I can lose 1 write here, like because I'm writing to just 1 machine. If my primary fails and the secondary doesn't catch up, I'm going to lose the write. This is like a detail that Abu mentioned here. But that case is going to be fine. I have 0 point something milliseconds latency. So let's kill 1 guy here. So I'm going to kill this one. So you see, my application is handling this very well. So my server is old, but I'm going to find the result in the other one. So the driver is capable to do that. And we are thinking about upgrade versions. You need to be sure that your application is able to handle elections and stuff like this. So I have some commands here already prepared. I just need to confirm which one I've killed here. Number 3, 19. I was in the version 3.4, and I'm gonna go to the version 3.6. Nope, it doesn't work because I got the wrong command. And now my secondary is back. So I have my instance back. My application is reading from both secondaries again. And I'm going to kill the next one. So I'm pretending that I'm running a rolling upgrade right now. So let me go to the next one. To 7018. To 7018. The same, my application is still up, it's still running. I'm still writing. There's some like pause, but it's still online. So it's still working, it's reading from the other one, and then I'm gonna connect to the primary and step down the primary. This is the worst part for the application to handle, because the application will need to start writing in the new primary, because so far I'm only updating the secondaries. So I have my Python running here. And I'm going to RS step down. And it's not supposed to break. Yeah, it's going to retry. At least it was supposed to retry. Okay, so it's working again. So you have a small outage here, but we can tell that it was online. So we haven't lost any write, so it's still running. My application is not broke. So now I'm gonna kill the old primary. And then Sorry?
Can you show the status of
Oh, sure.
the reference set?
Absolutely. Let me do that. It's gonna be just Mongo. Now we have the previous primary is completely out. This is the secondary. Sorry? Okay. And this is the new primary right now. So yeah, the application is still running, writing, and it's transparent for the user. And now we need to kill, I already killed the other one. And then, nope. To 7017. Give me just a second. Let me see the error. Enable. Okay. Common problem, but it's still not working. Or maybe, no, that's correct. 27017. Let me check one thing. CD, Mongo data. It's going to be CD S3 LS. This is not the best way, but I'm cleaning all the data folder to start IAMP server. Sorry?
I saw you started with a lock file.
Yes. It was tested, but you know, every time we present something, it breaks. 36 log. Now it works. But it's gonna perform initial sync and come back as a secondary. The application is still running, and it's gonna read from the this database. Yes.
Since you're doing secondary preferred field, if you're using a tag with that and you're actually taking down that tag.
If you remove the tag that you are trying to read and you don't have the secondary preference, because you can have more than one. So if the instance with the tag is not available and you have any other option to read, it's going to fail. Like, it's going to completely fail. At that case, as it is just secondary preferred, I can have both of the secondaries off. And it's going to read from the primary. But if you are using tag, I would use a default read preference if you have an exception in the tag. And then you're going to read from somewhere. So, and now, like I said, we have the feature. Oh, this is. But yeah. We have the feature compatibility version. So every time you upgrade from 3.4 to 3.6, the feature compatibility is going to be to the previous version. So let me go here. Oh. 27019 is off, is not available. Probably I made a mistake here, so let me turn this on. Oh, that's not expected at all. Oh, I know what I did. Look, my mistake here. S3, S3. Sorry? Oh, yeah, this. S3. S3 is working, but with the wrong data. So I need to kill this one as well. So, and I'm afraid I'm gonna break my test right now. S3 and 19. Let's go with this. It's gonna work. Okay, now we have the entire replica set up again. And like I mentioned, we need to upgrade the no. Guys, just a sec. I need to check the right command. Yeah, I believe so. I'll check here. I believe it's get parameter, right?
Parameter.
Feature, yeah. Give me a second. B, run command, get parameter, this B is uppercase. What is it? Feature? Compatibility level. It's not working.
It's an admin command,
Oh.
not a run command.
That's why it's not working.
Yeah. You have an extra
Yes. Thanks, Abu. It's not working. Nope. That's correct. Right?
Well, you have compatibility level. It should be working.
There we go. Yeah. Sorry about that. And this 3.6 version is working as a 3.4. And then we're going to set this to behave like a 3.6 version. Otherwise, it's going to be exactly the same as 3.4 without the features. Sorry? Yes. Yes, so maybe I would use the wrong words. Yeah, it's going to behave like a 3.4 without having the new features available, like causal consistency, yeah. Yes, so it's still with all the fixes and all this stuff in the new version. Yes. So then, and now we start having the cluster time and all this stuff, so we're going to start having the operation time and all this stuff that is introduced in the 3.6 version. And without all these problems, that's all I have for today. Like as the review, please make sure that your driver is capable of handling downtime, small downtimes. Test the new version, like I mentioned, we had problems in some MongoOS release in previous version. Create a backup before upgrading because it can be very difficult to roll back, but all the rollback steps are very well documented in the MongoDB website. And I'm open for questions, guys. No questions after a lot of problems. And rate our session, and thank you very much for supporting me here. Thank you.